Hello, Accounting 1. Today you're going to continue working on your Fitness Junction exercises. I'm making this video to help you out with a couple of the transactions you'll see today. You should be starting with 12, but I'm not going to tell you what 12 is. You should be able to figure that out. It's some form of payment, but you're going to have to decide what kind of payment that is and who you're paying and where you're going to write your check and where you're going to journalize that. Likewise, on Form 13, I believe you can figure that one out as well. You might pay attention to the fact that it says P844 in the middle of Form 13. The one I want to focus on today is Form 14. It's a little more complex, so I want to make sure I help you out with that because we're receiving um, our sales for the week, if you will. So to do the sales for the week, there's a couple things that we have to calculate. You'll notice on the form there's two separate parts to this. There's a cash sales and there's a credit card sales. And anytime we receive money, we're going to put that in the cash receipts. So I want to take you to the cash receipts journal, and that's where we're going to record these transactions. All right. So, pardon me, I'm going to sneeze. To calculate this or to journalize this, we're going to go over here. We're going to put in the date. It looks like it's December 3rd, so we're going to put in the 3rd. It's going to be T and the date, which is the 3rd, so we're going to put T3 here. T3 for your document number. Whoops, there we go. On this line, we're going to put cash sales. And on the line below that, we're going to put the 3rd again. We're going to put T3. And we're going to put credit card sales. And that just helps us do both of them at once. All right, so we're just going to kind of try and go through these real quick. So now, we're not going to have a post reference on these because they're all going to get posted to column totals. So what I want you to do is put an X here and put an X here, because all of this is relative to our sales. So the numbers we're going to plug in, if you look across the line, you can see the totals for the cash. It's actually a subtotal, but we're going to use the total there. So for cash sales, it looks like our sales amount is going to be $2,029. So I'm going to put that in, $2,029. Our sales tax is going to be $121.74. And the total amount of money we've received through this type of sale is the total of those two added together. So it's 2150.74. All right. You can find the same information on the credit card section of your sales tape that you've received here. I'm going to pause, plug these numbers in to save time on the video, and then we'll go to our next piece. Okay, I'm back. I've plugged in those numbers. The 26, 2943, 157.77, and 27.87 is those two added together. So make sure you plug that information in. And that is literally all we have to do because these are going to have column totals posted, and that's where all those numbers went. So we don't have to do anything else with this particular transaction. The next piece, Form 15, is another item we have to deal with. So what we're going to do with your Form 15, we are going to prepare a deposit slip, because we're now going to deposit all of these sales that we've had. But in order to do that, we need a couple things. So out here in there should be a deposit slips tab. There it is. So with your deposit slips, you're going to deposit, this is the cash and credit card sales amount. So remember that total, they had the total of both cash and credit card sales in your previous form. You want to get that number and you're going to plug that in there. So it should be 4937.94. Should go right there. Now, the reason I have plugged in some of these things for you already is to kind of help you out. Previously, we'd also received some checks, and we need to identify those because we're going to deposit those in the bank as well. So to do that, we need to identify the amounts of those checks, and we're going to plug those in here. So previously, we'd received 2 checks. They are back. I'm going to tell you the forms of those numbers. That's Form 9 and Form 10. All right, and you'll notice that I've put their ABA numbers to represent them. Form 9's check had an ABA number of 66,254. That can be found in the top right, little box right the right of the date. That's a lot of rights. Sorry about that. So when you're plugging that in, the amount for that was 9439.09. Okay, and then the other check was for 269.20. All right. Now I've plugged the ABA numbers in for this one. I've also done it for the next one when it occurs, when you have to deal with it, just to kind of help you out. The one thing I did not put in here, you need to plug in the date for this deposit slip, which I believe they tell you this deposit is occurring on the 3rd as well. Yep, December 3rd. So make sure you put 12/3 here. Get your date taken care of so you can remember which one you did. And that's all you really have to do with a deposit slip, but there's another place that this information has to go. So we actually need to deposit this whole amount in our check stub register so our money that we have going into our accounts adds up. We've already deposited these into our cash ledger account. And same with this. It'll already be plugged in there. So we have to get our check stub register caught up with the rest of it. So we're going to come out here to our check stub register, and your next open check. So check 904 doesn't have anything written in it, so we're actually going to put our deposit in there as well. So I'm going to come up here. I'm actually going to delete the date on that one. I'm going to come up here above, excuse me, above where I did all our previous bank charges, and I'm going to put 12/3 for my date right next to amount deposited. And then I'm going to plug in that total that I found in my deposit slips. The 14,646.23. So 14,646.23. Plug that in, and that's clearly going to increase the amount of money you have, which is ideal because you're going to be spending more anyway. Okay, once you've included that in here and once you've plugged it into your deposit slip, that is literally all you have to do because everything else has already been journalized. All right, so after that's done, you're going to move on to the next form. Form 16 and Form 16 through 18, those are pretty standard. I think you can figure those out. Form 19, make sure you pay attention to the fact that it says it's an attached invoice for office supplies bought on account. So you purchased office supplies on account from this place, so treat it as such. It's going to go into your purchases journal. Okay, so make sure you pay attention to that. The following, excuse me, the one following that looks like a cash receipts scenario where you received a check and you're issuing a check on the one after that, purchase some more things. So I'm going to go ahead and let you complete the rest of these pieces of information. And when I get back, I expect you to have been, I want you to try and get to Form 24 at least. All right, Form 24 is your goal today. You're starting at Form 12, so that would be 12 transactions today. Try to get 12 done. All right, I'm going to cut the video there. We'll see you guys on Friday.